Steph Curry, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic. The list of NBA superstars can go on and on and on. It's one of the reasons why there's all-star snubs every single year. The talent level in the league today is just way too high, and that's a good thing. I mean, one day we get to watch Steph shoot half-court bombs, the next day we get to see Giannis go beast mode, and the day after that, we get to see something else amazing. The endless amount of star power has done wonders for the game of basketball and has truly elevated the sport to an all-time high. We all realize that, of course, but one man realized that more than the rest of us. In one man's mind, the league doesn't need another star. In one man's mind, what the league truly needs is a villain. Well, that man's name is Dillon Dynasty Brooks. Messing with Steph, messing with LeBron, Dame Time, Embiid, the Spider, the list does continue pretty much indefinitely. I mean, this man single-handedly got in the faces of practically half the All-Star team and the media. If I had to speak frankly, he ain't just a regular villain anymore. I think it's safe to say at this point in time that Dillon Brooks, in the NBA context at least, has really elevated himself into a supervillain. You might think I'm joking, but I'm serious. Because it doesn't matter where this guy goes anymore. Whether it's in the NBA or in regular pickup games, or even halfway across the world in Asia, he's always the enemy of the fans. Then, to further add on to that, the last time I saw him, he was literally doing the Cersei Game of Thrones walk of shame. No one but a supervillain gets vilified like that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, after getting fired from the Memphis Grizzlies and then getting a second chance with the Houston Rockets, I thought Brooks was going to come back as a new man with a fresh perspective on life, but I was completely wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA's biggest villain has returned. If there's one thing about Dillon, it's that he's always Dillon, and that he never fails to be Dillon. What I mean by that is, like many NBA players during the offseason, Brooks played in the ProAm games, and being Canadian, he played in his local hometown league, the ProAm Toronto. Normally, NBA players are applauded and loved by fans who attend, because NBA players are like celebrities practically. But Dillon? Well, this is how he was greeted by fans at this particular game. Overrated was what the crowd was saying to him. An NBA player was being heckled at a Pro-Am game, for Pete's sake. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. And you know what I've also never seen before? An NBA player getting into the face of just a regular hooper. Sheesh, guys. Unfortunately for the fans, Dillon is still an NBA player, and because of that, he dominated. Wait. You know what's strange about what I just said? Normally, when we put Dillon's name and the word dominated in the same sentence, it's usually Dillon was dominated by Curry, Dillon was dominated by LeBron, or Dillon was dominated by so-and-so. Which is why it's kinda strange to say that Dillon dominated a game. But hey, maybe that's where he'll build his dynasty.
Keep building this dynasty.
But anyway, this little stint in the Pro-Am for Dillon was just a preview of what was about to come. The FIBA World Cup was coming up next, and for Dillon, that meant taking his talents to the world stage.
What?
Oh, sorry, Russ, not talent. Dillon was just taking himself and his strange sense of fashion to the world stage. Sheesh, guys, he was trying to look like Stone Cold. But man, that outfit looks really wrong on him. Anyway, as you'd expect, this was the type of welcome Brooks had as he took the world stage in the Philippines.
To reach the next level, for them to be here in the quarterfinals is a great thing, and you can see.
Yeah, Even in the Philippines, where I'm sure he was going for the first time in his life, the boos were raining down on Mr. Dynasty. Fans in attendance were even bringing posters and calling him Dylan Bricks, and if you look at Dylan, he's embracing the supervillain role. Unfortunately for that fan, however, that game against Spain turned out to be the best game Dylan has ever played in his career. 8 for 12 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point range for a total of 22 points, with many of those coming when Team Canada needed them the most. That must have really hurt Spain. I mean, losing is one thing, but losing to this guy? Yikes. So after that Spain matchup came the most anticipated game. Canada versus Slovenia was one of the most anticipated games in the FIBA tournament. This game featured Luka Doncic and the self-proclaimed best defender in the FIBA World Cup, the world, and the NBA. Yeah, guys, he actually said all of that. You know, Dylan Dynasty Brooks must have seen that comment by Noah Lyles and said to himself, anything he can say, I can say better. So, one funny thing about this game is that at one point, Dylan was explaining to his team how to guard Luka.
Here, you know what I'm saying? Let him go that way. We have help. We got our rotations. We get steals.
And, literally moments after that, this happened. Just aside though, Dylan actually did a pretty good job with Luka. In addition to guarding his actual plays, he actually messed up Luka's psyche a bit. In fact, I'd go as far to say that he got into Luka's head, because after the game, here's what the Maverick superstar said.
The referee told one of the guys, we're not going to call a foul on him because he's coming at us. I think this is not fair. I know I complain a lot, but I don't think it's fair.
Because of the antics and the physicality that Brooks was employing, it frustrated Luka, and eventually, on a play, Luka was so frustrated that he complained to the refs and got ejected. Unlike the NBA refs, the international refs don't put up with players complaining, and Luka's complaining was what got him tossed out of the game. And that's sort of what got Brooks tossed out of the game as well. You see, after hitting a 3 on a Slovenian player, Brooks felt like he was Steph Curry or something, so he started talking like a crazy madman. He probably said something like, I poke bears, and added a couple of cuss words. But yeah, Team Canada went on to win the game, and afterwards Dylan was being Dylan again, waiting with boxing gloves in the hall. You know, I read a headline somewhere saying that he was waiting for Luka with those gloves, and I literally laughed out loud. It was a false headline, but hey, considering everything Dylan's done over his career, I wouldn't put it past him to do such a thing. And speaking of Luka, in the post-game interview, well, the Slovenian superstar actually had a different opinion of Brooks than most other NBA players.
He's very physical, like he always does. A lot of people don't like him, but I respect him for what he does, and he does that stuff really good.
Praising Dylan just doesn't quite feel right, and unfortunately, it wasn't just Luka either that spoke highly of him. Gilgeous-Alexander also had this to say of Mr. Dynasty. He's a leader. He does the right things on the basketball floor. He plays with the right energy. RJ Barrett also had some kind choice of words for Dylan, but honestly, it's probably because Dylan hasn't physically harassed these two in the NBA yet. I never minded Dylan's antics. It gives us a game within a game, and although sometimes it can be a bit cringy, it makes for good entertainment. It's just when he takes things too far where he gets out of hand, like the time he almost ended GP2's career, and the time where he knocked down a cameraman. That's when it crosses the line, but with regards to his normal hustle plays and his antics, I don't mind it, and that's honestly the only reason why he still has a job in the NBA at the moment. You see, ESPN's Tim McMahon recently told his colleague Zach Lowe that Ime Udoka wanted him, he valued him, he's in Houston in large part because of that. It's on Ime Udoka to deal with that and get the best version of Dylan Brooks that also creates the best possible scenario for these young guys to grow. That's actually quite hilarious to me. I mean, this is the guy they believe that'll create the best possible scenario for these young guys to grow? That ain't just crazy. That's madness.